It is now Friday, May 25th. So maybe I'll do this every Friday. Okay, we'll start with the plants up front. This guy definitely needs water regularly. It was looking kind of limp when I missed it one day. Very pretty day out. Sunny. Trying to think. Probably about 85, I think the thermometer said inside. I should check the mail. It may be here by now. That's filling out nicely. Do a little rinse of the windowsill that accumulates dirt. I've got to look at this area through here along the house. It's basically the way it was a few years ago. I haven't really done anything with it. I've got to look at that. Maybe just do fabric and mulch. Get a good slant away from the house. It does seem to get a fair amount of rain splashing up against the foundation. So I'm not sure mulch, would that just end up splashing more or just as much? I don't know. Alright, in the raised bed, I have added a few more tomato plants. At this point I'm just using some brick and stone to kind of build the dirt up a little higher around them without having to fill in the whole area, because that could use a lot of soil. Come around and show the three that are on the deck. All three pots, 4 plants. See, that's number 2, number 1. And these I know are the Roma tomato number 3, and I've got 2 plants sitting in that one. Now I've got these 2 pots I pulled out, and I may, they're a little shallow, not quite big enough to do a tomato plant in, but I may start them on the side of the house and just see how they do. Because right now that side, you'll see in a minute, is getting a lot of sunlight. And it's always filtered light in the back here. Very little direct. So I've added a lot more water again today. Trying to keep the root area wet, or at least enough hydrated that the tree, I guess that's a tree, survives the move and builds new roots. And I suppose to encourage root growth, I will have to probably get out here with the hose and water the whole circumference a few feet out from the trunk there to give it some water to grow towards. But typically the end of the little branches get kind of limp and droop over, kind of like what these at the bottom have done. But like there's one from the bottom here that's standing up rather tall. So we'll see. Because these branches up here are not looking too, they're not looking sad, let's put it that way. So we'll see. It's a little crowded with that little pine, but they'll make friends. We'll figure out a way. Alright, across the back here. Keep adding water to these every day. You can see on the end here, there's some decent growth going on. So like that plant is staying hydrated. Same thing where it's got to build out its roots at the base. This is really thriving over here. Even a little peony. which I point out every single time. This one isn't thriving, but if you see, like right here, there we go. You can see there's new growth on the end of several of these branches. So that means there is hydration moving through the plant, through the bush. It's just a question of whether it's going to be sufficient to keep the whole thing alive. Okay, we're going to come down to this corner. You can see this area I dug out earlier this year. The new grass is starting to come in rather well. Still have weeds and all that to contend with. Separated some sticks to use as growing stakes from the brush that will go out. It's Memorial Day weekend, so it'll go out probably Monday afternoon with the idea that the town truck will come through Tuesday. Typically comes through here on Mondays and picks up any debris. So this is the side where I'm thinking somewhere in here of putting a couple of tomato plants in pots and just seeing how they do. Obviously, let's see, this is, facing south, so it isn't until the afternoon light, maybe 2 o'clock, that it gets good sunlight. But when it does, probably for 3 hours, it gets very bright, direct, plus reflective off the house sunlight. So over here, they may do very well. We'll see. I mean, tomatoes like a lot of light and a fair amount of water and all that stuff. But sunlight is a tough thing to come by in this yard. So I scrubbed down the siding today. Just water and a scrub brush. Just put the ladder away. So I got a lot of the, dirt, debris, algae, trying to think, moss, I guess it would be moss that grows on the siding. Got a lot of that scrubbed off. We'll see how this guy does here by himself. Alright, that's it for the backyard, and we'll make a quick tour of the front just in case there's noticeable differences from a week ago. Some pretty flowers here. Now I know that's something the bees will be buzzing around here collecting pollen from these things, so I can't play in that too much. Oh, we got lots of little somethings going on here. I don't know, this tree, let's see, it's called a burning bush because the green leaves in the fall all turn a very vibrant red. Now this must be some sort of blossom that's going on here. Little yellow ones. Okay, quick visit to the myrtle. And those purple flowers. And then we'll wrap up and go down and get the mail.